Hey everyone, today I have a pretty hilarious party game. This is Exploding Kittens. This was actually one of the most backed games on Kickstarter. I had previously played this with a couple of friends and I decided to pick it up myself on Black Friday on Amazon. It was at a price around $13. As usual, I'll have the product link in the description if you do decide to pick this up yourself. So this video I'm just going to unbox it, show you the contents, and a quick overview of how the gameplay works. So there are several different versions of this game out now. This is the original one that plays 2 to 5 people. There is a party pack edition that plays even more players, and the box actually has a built-in music in it. So if you're interested in that, again, I'll have the link in the description. But anyways, here's just a quick look at the back, just a synopsis and the accolades that they've gotten so far. And fun fact, you got the legit copy if you have this image shifting sticker on the back here. So opening up the box, you're first greeted with the instructions pamphlet. It's very easy to read and it's actually kind of hilarious with the artwork too. So the goal of the game is to basically not blow up. There's these exploding kittens that are hidden away in the deck. Each person starts out with a defuse card so they can defuse that bomb and a number of other different kinds of cards that have different functions. I'll give a quick overview of those different cards in just a moment, but the idea here is you keep on going through each turn. As the deck gets smaller and smaller, there's a greater chance of you picking out an exploding kitten. So you want to think kind of strategically on what cards to play during your turn to kind of force another player to possibly pick up the exploding kitten card, which you would otherwise do. There are a couple combinations that you can also use in addition to just playing the action on the card that you have. And finally, if you still don't understand the game by the end of this video, they have plenty of tutorial videos out there. They even have a link right on the instruction manual. Moving on to the rest of the unboxing, you get a little advertisement slip of the other games that they also have. If you like this one, maybe you want to consider picking up another game. And finally, we get to the cards themselves. In total, there are 56 count, just like a regular deck of cards, plus 4 jokers. So now here's a close-up of the cards. You can see the backing is a really cute artwork with basically a cat on fire. Right out of the packaging, the cards are all grouped together, so the ones on the bottom are the exploding kittens. So you can see there are a total of 4 in this particular version. And the only way to live if you do get an exploding kitten on your turn is to use a diffuse card, which looks like this. And I do like the humor factor in the diffuse artwork. You can see the ways to diffuse an exploding kitten, like belly rubs and stuff like that. Once you diffuse an exploding kitten, you have to put the exploding kitten back into the deck. It only goes away if it actually explodes the user. Otherwise, you have to put it back somewhere in the deck, even on top, if you want to force the next player to take the card. The majority of the deck is these funny looking cats, so as long as you have at least 2 or more together, you can randomly take somebody else's card. If you have 3 of the same thing, then you can actually force them to give you the card that you want. Another card is this favorite card. When you use it, you force somebody to give you a card of their choice. So unfortunately, you can't make them give you a card of your choice with this particular favorite card. Another action card that's handy are these skips, so that prevents you from having to draw a card at the end of your turn, which you normally would have to if you don't play a skip. This next card is See the Future, so it allows you to see the top 3 cards in the deck. You can keep it to yourself. It basically helps you come up with a strategy if you do happen to see an exploding kitten in the near future. Now this next card are nope cards. It basically negates somebody's action against you. One use is to save yourself from attacks. These are these yellow lightning cards right here, which forces you to take 2 cards on your turn as opposed to the single one. So you can just nope that attack if you feel like the next card is an exploding kitten and you don't have a diffuse card or you don't want to use your diffuse card. And finally, the last category of cards are the shuffle cards, and they do as they say. You can shuffle the remaining deck so that you can have a better chance of not having exploding kitten on the top of the deck. So now let's run through one round of gameplay. So let's assume there are 4 people playing. That means you need to remove one of the exploding kitten cards so that there are only 3 exploding kittens in the deck. You always want to have 1 less exploding kitten than the total number of people playing. You're going to go ahead and distribute 1 diffuse per person so that everybody has a chance to save themselves just the initial time. Put the remaining diffuses into the deck with the exploding kittens. If there are less than 4 people, then take out a few diffuses based on the instructions. Now the rest of the cards you want to shuffle as much as possible and then go ahead and deal out the cards so that everybody has 8 cards. Finally, you will probably want to shuffle the remaining deck just to make sure everything is even and you don't have a bunch of exploding kittens up front. So now let's go through one round of gameplay. So let's say the first player has 2 matching cats. So that person puts it down in the discard pile, and in doing so, that person is allowed to pick one person to take a random card from. So then that person would have to fan out their cards to allow one random card to be taken from their hand. You can perform as many actions as you want in your turn, but you end your turn by picking a card from the deck. So now let's say player 2 looks at their deck and decides to put down a skip, so that allows them to not draw a card at the end of their turn. And then player 3 decides to not do an action at all. They pass up their turn and just decide to end their turn by taking a card. Now player 4 decides to use their See the Future card at this point, so that allows them to peek at the top 3 cards in the deck and strategize accordingly. So that's it. That's the unboxing and overview of this card game, Exploding Kittens. If you guys think this is a pretty interesting game and I can personally vouch for the fun factor and repetitive measure of this, you can definitely check out the product link in the description. It will also contain the party pack version so you can play with more people, as well as the expansion packs that are available.